You're watching the Alabama Weather Network.
It's Tuesday, the 20th of January. This is James Spann. All the attention is focused on the potential winter storm for the northern half of Alabama and much of the Deep South. In fact, this thing will stretch all the way from Texas to the Carolinas with major impacts. So we'll focus in on that. But in the short term, things are nice and quiet today. That's the upper air look. And again, we've got a broad trough over the eastern two-thirds of the country. The weather cold and dry. Visible satellite view. Got pretty much a clear sky across the state. And the radar, showing basically nothing anywhere near us. Got a few little snow showers over parts of the northern Rockies, but again, much of the country nice and quiet today. So there's a look at temperatures this afternoon. As expected, we've got mostly 40s for North Alabama. It's only 41 in Huntsville. However, Gulf Shores at 63. Most spots over the central counties of the state are in the 50s, central and South Alabama. So we have winter storm watches that have been issued for much of Oklahoma, North Texas, Arkansas, Northwest Louisiana. Those will be expanded eastward in coming days to cover Tennessee, Kentucky, North Mississippi, North Alabama. Inevitably, a winter storm watch is coming with very good agreement and modeling in terms of the chance of a high-impact winter storm. Again, all the way from Texas and Oklahoma, all the way to the Carolinas. But at least we have no severe thunderstorms to worry about. This is tornado season, November through May, but no thunder today. Tomorrow, maybe a rumble of thunder over Louisiana, East Texas, parts of Mississippi, nothing severe. And on Thursday, no thunder across the country. But goodness, look at all the rain here, the QPF. This is suggesting totals in excess of 2 inches for much of North Alabama between now and Tuesday morning of next week. And you see 2.5 for Tuscaloosa, Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, Huntsville, 2 inches. And, of course, the big question is how much of that will fall in the form of freezing rain or sleet or snow. Whatever. It's going to be a very, very messy weekend storm with high impact. So let's walk you through it. This is the European Model Fans 12Z run, 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. And again, we've got that big upper-low vortex over Canada. And that will be pushing cold air down in here the weekend as a surface low begins to form in the Gulf. And tomorrow, most of the day dry, but there could be a few showers over the northwestern corner of the state by afternoon. If you're in places like Russellville, the Shoals, Athens, Red Bay, Hamilton, Sulligent, you might see some rain by afternoon. The rest of the state dry, highs mostly in the 50s. South Alabama could see low 60s. We'll take a look at the high-resolution HER model. This is valid tomorrow evening at 7 o'clock local time, showing some scattered light rain over mainly west and northwest Alabama. So this is Thursday. Again, cloudy, some rain at times, nothing heavy, nothing widespread, mainly over the southern two-thirds of the state. Friday, trending drier. There could be a little light rain, but probably not much, and highs will likely be in the low 50s. Friday, maybe upper 40s for the northern part of the state. So Saturday, this is when things start to go south here. We've got a big batch of freezing rain moving into the northern third of the state, a big batch of snow over Tennessee, as shallow cold air drops into North Alabama and a broad surface low forms in the Gulf. And the European, and this is what we're showing you now, and again, this is the most reliable global model in the house based on systems like this. It is trending more toward more freezing rain for the Tennessee Valley, with the snow confined to areas right near the Tennessee state line. But again, we stress this could change. We're talking an event beginning Saturday, and this is Tuesday. And that's why we're not ready to do any specific impact forecast. We're not ready to give impact for any given point, travel conditions, accumulation totals. We're not quite ready to do that yet. It's not quite time. So let's go to Saturday night at midnight. And this is when it could be pretty ugly here. Big batch of freezing rain, ice accumulation, North Alabama. Snow for Tennessee and Kentucky. That freezing rain runs over to Atlanta, much of South Carolina, back into northeastern Texas. Just a big swath of freezing rain and ice accumulation. And I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Really, one of the hard parts of these forecasts, it's defining the southern extent of the wintry precipitation, the ice potential. And this particular run here of the Europeans suggest it's going to be very close to Interstate 20. And we've seen that so many times over the years. South Alabama, just a cold rain. But where does that line, where will that be? Where to the north of that line, you've got major icing. To the south of that line, it's just a cold, rainy Saturday night. That's what will be hard to define, if not impossible. And I do think it will be kind of moving back and forth a little bit. It will not be static. But clearly, that's a pretty ugly symbol for ice accumulation there for North Alabama. So let's look at the other models, the global models. This is the GFS, the American Global Model, and it doesn't perform as well as the others. This is suggesting there might even be some freezing rain down into southeast Alabama, Troy, Eufaula. We're not quite ready to buy this solution yet. Again, we'll kind of reject that for the moment. Let's look at the Canadian. Again, it's got freezing rain over much of North and West Alabama. Tennessee, more sleet than snow. But let's look at the potential ice accumulation. Now, this is not freezing rain accumulation. This is ice accumulation, flat ice accumulation. This is coming off the NBM, the National Blend of Models, which is an ensemble approach. And you can see that big swath of ice accumulation all the way from Texas to the Carolinas. This will affect a lot of folks. Take a little closer look at those numbers here. And again, you can see that we've got ice accumulation potential a quarter to 1/2 inch over about the northern half of Alabama. And that's not good. Listen, we can have power outages with 1/10 of an inch of ice accumulation. You get a quarter to 1/2 inch on a pine tree, and that sucker's going to come down. Power lines can come down. And, of course, trees can come down on power lines. So one of the great concerns here is for power outages. If this indeed turns out to be a long-duration freezing rain event, which we call an ice storm. And again, the last really big ones we had here, 1996, 1982, had pretty good icing event in 1985 in parts of North Alabama, but it's really been a while since we've had a widespread, significant ice storm. We're overdue. 1996, that's what, 30 years ago. So again, that's your ice accumulation potential coming off the NBM National Blend of Models. In terms of snow, the European has shifted a bit north on the snow potential. And it's got the really big snow totals over Tennessee. This is suggesting over 1 foot of snow, potentially, for Memphis and Nashville and Knoxville Saturday. Wow. Now, the GFS is farther south with the snow band. It's got it over North Alabama, and it's got some huge numbers for the Tennessee Valley. But again, we kind of reject that solution. The GFS does not perform that well. And if the European solution is right here, even if you're in Huntsville or the Shoals, you might wind up with more ice than snow. That's another hard part of this, is defining where does that change over from freezing rain to snow. It's awfully close to the Tennessee River, I'll put it that way. Let's look at the probabilistic outlook from the European AI, which is a really good way of looking at snow potential here. And it's still pretty robust over the Tennessee Valley, especially north of the Tennessee River. It's got the chance, and this is for over 3 inches, not 1 inch, but this is for over 3 inches of snow. And the chance for Huntsville, the Shoals, Scottsboro, it's up there in the 70 to 90% range. So, again, I do believe there's a good chance the Tennessee Valley, especially north of the Tennessee River, has a really good chance of getting several inches of snow here, maybe 3, 4, 5, 6 inches. South of the Tennessee River, again, it's mostly this nastiness here, this ice stuff. And so, again, the time is now not to panic or anything, but just to prepare. Think about what if you are to be without power for 2 days or 3 days or 4 days. Do you have enough food in the house? And if you can't travel, if the roads are totally ice covered, and you can't get out, do you have your medication? Do you have enough food in the house? Have you got an adequate way of staying warm if you've got no power? Now's the time to think about that and prepare for the worst, hope for the best. And again, the best case scenario, thermal values in the lower levels are warmer than we think, and it's going to be mostly a cold rain. Could that happen? Yes, but confidence is quite high in these scenarios we're showing you. So Sunday, it's still going. Now, here's one thing about Sunday that's interesting, that the European is kind of showing a warm nose coming up from the south with maybe just rain. Temperatures getting up in the mid-30s, and we change over from freezing rain to rain, and that might mitigate some of the impact if we wind up with a cold rain to wrap this thing up on Sunday. But if we've got major ice accumulation, it probably won't help that much, but just maybe a little bit. And again, there's evidence in that potential for maybe a change to just good old-fashioned cold rain for a little bit on Sunday. And then Monday, it's all gone. But this thing will probably start early Saturday morning. And, I mean, this is a weekend full of mess here from early Saturday morning to Sunday night with snow and ice potential for the north, just a cold rain for South Alabama. Monday, cold and dry. Again, we'll maybe get up toward the mid-30s, but understand if we do have major ice and snow accumulation, the impact on roads will continue into early next week. We might get a little above freezing, but probably not by far on Monday. And a week from today, Tuesday the 27th, the flow is zonal. And Tuesday morning, again, if we've got a snow cover, ice cover, we'll be in the single digits over much of North Alabama. Single-digit lows likely as far south as Birmingham, Anniston, Gadsden, with a clear sky, light wind, and a blanket of snow on the ground or ice. And Tuesday, we'll get up to the upper 30s. Maybe that will help to mitigate conditions a little bit. Things improve some with a strong January sun. So hopefully Tuesday afternoon, things kind of get back to normal. So let's go out 10 days. This is Friday, the 30th of January. And again, got a northwest flow aloft and we're dry. Really, all of next week at this point looks just cold and dry. Highs in the 30s and 40s, lows in the teens and 20s. And again, we might see single-digit lows Tuesday morning and maybe even Wednesday morning in spots. But again, for now, next week just looks cold and dry. We'll check the latest numbers here. In fact, you know what? I did not actually pull in the latest one here. That was from this morning, so give me a second here. We'll pull in the latest precipitation outlook for the next 15 days. This will be valid between now and the 4th of February. And you can watch it change together. All right, there's the update. And the mean, the green line, it's between 3 and 4 inches. And again, the bulk of that will be this weekend. I mean, it's pretty remarkable here. And let me pull in the latest temperatures coming off the NBM, the National Blend of Models. And remember, at this point, the NBM is not going to be handling shallow cold air that well. So there we go. And we've got 38 on Saturday, and this is for the central part of the state. If you're in the Shoals, Huntsville, your high might be 31 or 30. Birmingham, 32. And again, you've got 15 Tuesday morning of next week, 16 Wednesday morning of next week. But if we do have a big blanket of snow or ice down, those numbers will be lower. But notice that next week, again, temperatures stay pretty far below average throughout the week. And we'll check the latest 8 to 14-day guidance in the house. This is going to be for the period the 28th of January through the 3rd of February. And there we go. And once again, we're in the blue, deep blue. Temperatures below average into early February. All right, let's quickly roll a couple of Children's of Alabama Kid Cam videos. Number one stop today, Lindsay Lane Baptist Church in Athens. The Lindsay Lane Home Education Co-op. Homeschoolers in the house. I like that a lot. Had a good crowd, and yeah, they respect the Polygon. I love the cake. That represents the number of miles on my vehicle that I drive to these schools. 425,000. That's outstanding. What a great cake. But this was a great session. I love having the moms and the dads in there. We did some storm spotting. Talked about how we forecast the weather. Of course, we talked about winter weather. And then stop number 2, Athens Elementary, 3rd grade. You know, I like those 3rd graders. I'd be a 3rd grade science teacher all day. They're great. They can soak up the science. Had a great session today, and again, with snow in the forecast, everybody's a little excited there. And they respect the Polygon. Those are cookies. Those were just incredibly good. But we talked about weather safety, thunderstorms, hurricanes, tornadoes, and a lot more. That's a great school and great teachers. So again, to everybody at Athens Elementary, thanks a lot for a great visit earlier today. Hey, you guys are looking good. All right, so let's see here. Tomorrow, going through the schedule real quick. Tomorrow I'm going to be at Donahoe School. Thursday, Asbury Elementary in Marshall County, and then Pelham Oaks Elementary in Shelby County. Friday, Magnolia Elementary in Trussville, then Hewitt-Trussville High School. And concerning this weekend, we're going to be live a long time on the Alabama Weather Network. We've got a big staff, a lot of resources, and we're going to stretch our legs a little bit to cover this thing. So we'll probably start early Saturday morning and just stay live with it all weekend long. So be sure you have the Alabama Weather Network app on your TV, on your phone, tablet, follow the Alabama Weather Network on social media. And again, we will be able to show you everything that's happening where there's snow and ice issues. And again, we're straight shooters. You know that. We're not here to panic anybody. We're just simply here to show you what's going on. And we have the people and the resources to do that. So again, be sure you are following the Alabama Weather Network and have all the apps installed. I'll be on ABC 3340 News this evening, and you can catch me every day on great radio stations around the state, including in Birmingham Classic Rock 106.9. Thanks for watching. Have a great Tuesday evening, and God bless.